Hand cannons are one of the most popular weapon types in Destiny 2, and we got some great legendary and exotic versions in the game, good for both PvE and PvP content. Well, today I'm going to check out the 10 best hand cannons in Destiny 2, plus we get to go through the great roles and how to get them, so you can head into the game mode of your choice and leave your enemies quaking in their boots. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell, and roughly 95% of viewers who watch this week in video games aren't subscribed, so subscribe today and never miss an update. Okay, without further delay, let's dive right into that list of top 10 best hand cannons in Destiny 2. And first of all today, we've got an energy hand cannon. This one is Exalted Truth. So Exalted Truth is a legendary energy hand cannon with an adaptive frame, meaning it's got a well-rounded grip, it's reliable and it's sturdy. Exalted Truth is a great hand cannon because its base stats are much better than other adaptive hand cannons, plus it can compete with the Palindrome and other fan favourite hand cannons like IS Luna. Well, Rose is another great hand cannon, but we're going to get to that one later. Well, the perk pool for the Exalted Truth is really good. So as well as good single perks, this one's got really good rare perk combinations not found in other weapons of a similar type, like Rangefinder and Kill Clip, which is only obtainable on kinetic hand cannons previously. You got Repulsor Brace as well, that is another good one, given it's a void hand cannon, so you can take advantage of that overshield buff this season. Well, for PvE, Fluted Barrel, Tactical Mag, Outlaw and Kill Clip would be good, and for PvP, Hammerforged Rifling, Acrorose Rounds, Killing Wind and Kill Clip would be really good too, and finally, you can get this one from the Trials of Osiris. Well, next up we got Fatebringer. This one is another legendary hand cannon, although this one is a kinetic hand cannon with an adaptive frame, meaning it has a well-rounded grip, it's reliable and it's sturdy. For PvE, Hammerforged Rifling, Appended Mag, Explosive Payload and Firefly would be really good. Whereas for PvP, Corkscrew Rifling, Acrorose Rounds, Explosive Payload and Kill Clip. Well, to get Fatebringer, it is a random drop from the Vault of Glass raid, and you can find that in the Legends tab in the Director. This one is free for all players, and the only barrier to entry really is finding a team and jumping into play. Well, Fatebringer drops from a couple of encounters in the raid, so it can drop after you beat the Templar, that is the third encounter, or after you beat the Gatekeeper, that is the fourth encounter, and of course, if you do it on a harder difficulty, you can get the time-lost version of the Fatebringer as well. Well, next up we got one of my favourites. This is IS Luna, and IS Luna is a legendary kinetic hand cannon with an adaptive frame. I mean, it's got a well-rounded grip, it's reliable and it's sturdy. Also, this kinetic hand cannon deals stasis damage, so it allows you to create stasis crystals, and it could work really well in stasis builds if you've got the right mods. Well, for PvE, Outlaw and Kill Clip, well, that is a classic combination. Although given this one is a stasis weapon, then Headstone is a really good choice as well. For PvP, on the other hand, Perpetual Motion and Moving Target, well, that is a really good role for the Crucible. To get this one is a random drop from the final boss of the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, and that is found on the Cosmodrome. To get access to that, you will need to have purchased the 30th anniversary pack. You can get that through all of the platform stores. Well, next up we got our first exotic hand cannon in the list, and this one is the Last Word. And it's one of the best exotic hand cannons in the game, particularly good in PvP due to its high rate of fire. It is a permanent staple of the top 10 weapons for competitive PvP, so it's definitely worth hunting if you're looking for a good hand cannon for the Crucible. Well, the Last Word is an exotic kinetic hand cannon, as I mentioned before, and let's have a look at the perks. So we've got Fan Fire. This weapon fires full auto, and hit fire shots deal bonus precision damage while increasing the reload speed and the accuracy. Then you've got Hip Fire Grip, so increase the accuracy, stability and precision hit targeting when firing from the hip. Well, to get this one, you can buy the Last Word from the exotic kiosk found in the tower, and you can find it next to your vault, and it is called the Monument to Lost Lights. Well, next up we've got another classic hand cannon, so it's Thorn, and Thorn is an exotic kinetic hand cannon with some excellent perks, including Mark of the Devourer, so rounds pierce targets and deal damage over time, and kills with the weapon leave behind remnants. Then you've got Soul Devourer, so absorbing a remnant strengthens the Mark of the Devourer and partially refills the magazine. Well, to get Thorn, you can buy this one from the tower, again from that exotic kiosk. You can find that next to your vault, and that is the Monument to Lost Lights. It's definitely worth getting your hands on this one. Really good, both in PvE content and also PvP too. Well, next up, we've got another exotic hand cannon. This one is HAWKMOON. This one is an absolute classic and also really easy to get your hands on. So HAWKMOON is an interesting exotic weapon because it has a random rolled perk each week and you can pick it up from Xur. So this one can come with perks like Opening Shot, Rangefinder, Outlaw. They are all really good. Plus you get that exotic perk as well, and that is called Paracausal Shot. So let's have a closer look at Paracausal Shot. The final blows and precision hits with HAWKMOON grant stacks of Paracausal Charge, and the final round of the magazine deals bonus damage based on the number of stacks. Although, if you stow HAWKMOON on the final round, that does remove the bonus. So make sure to check in with Xur each week, and you can get your hands on a great random rolled version of the HAWKMOON. And don't forget, I do a guide on where Xur is each week, and he arrives in the solar system on Friday, and he leaves on Tuesday at reset. Well, next up we got Austringer. So if you're looking for a very good hand cannon for PvP, Austringer is a really good bet, especially given you can craft it. So IS Luna and Rose, well, they are really good, decent alternatives, but personally, I prefer Austringer. You know, it's a great feeling weapon. Well, to get Austringer, you want to open up those opulent chests on the Derelict Leviathan, and the opulent chests are located around the Leviathan, and you can find that near the moon. However, you can't open them without an opulent key. You can get opulent keys by opening up loot chests on the Derelict Leviathan, and also at the end of the Nightmare Containment activity. It's also a craftable weapon, so make sure you get those red borders before Lightfall, and also before the Crown of Sorrow leaves the helm. Well, next up we got another exotic hand cannon. This one is Crimson, although Crimson isn't like any other hand cannon. It looks like a hand cannon, but definitely doesn't sound like one, or it doesn't fire like one. Crimson has a couple of interesting perks, the first one being Banned Weapon, and it allows you to shoot 3 rounds at the same time, basically like a pulse rifle. It's also got something called Cruel Remedy, which is a lot like the original Red Death from Destiny 1, where you get healed when you get kills. And finally, if you get precision kills, then the magazine gets reloaded. This is pretty much a game changer in PvP, and also PvE when you pair the healing with the reloading. Unfortunately, there's no exotic quest for this weapon, which means you have to rely on luck from exotic engrams, or you can buy it from Xur when he sells it. So you can get exotic engrams from the season pass each season, and you can also find them out there in the wild, although quite rare, they are possible to find from activities. Well, next up we've got another classic weapon. It's another exotic weapon, and this one is the Ace of Spades. So Ace of Spades is an exotic hand cannon introduced in Destiny 2 in the Forsaken expansion. And Ace of Spades was the trusty hand cannon of Cade 6, and was built specifically for him by Banshee 44. Now, this gun was then taken by Aldrin Sov during the story events of Forsaken before being reclaimed by our Guardian. Well, let's have a look at the exotic perks. So we've got Memento Mori. So reloading after a kill loads the magazine with a few extra damaged bullets. And it grants radar while aiming down sights. We've also got Firefly as well, so precision kills with the weapon increase the reload speed and cause the target to explode, dealing solar damage to nearby enemies. Well, to get the Ace of Spades, you can buy this one from the tower from the exotic kiosk. You can find that next to the vault, and it's called the Monument to Lost Lights. Well, finally then, we've got my favourite hand cannon of the bunch, and it's a relatively new one back into the game. This one is Rose. So Rose is a legendary kinetic hand cannon with a lightweight frame, meaning it's got superb handling, and you can move faster with the weapon equipped. So that makes it really good for Crucible. Anything that increases your mobility in Crucible is really worth having, and the perks on this weapon are absolutely fantastic. So for PvE, corkscrew rifling, tactical mag, rapid hit, and explosive payload would be really good. Whereas for PvP, small bore, accurized rounds, perpetual motion, and opening shot, that is the one you want to go for. So to get Rose, you will need to complete that competitive PvP quest from Lord Shax. Currently, he's offering a quest called Dividing the Ladder. You have to take part in the competitive playlist in the Crucible. Once you complete that quest, you'll get a static rolled version of Rose, and as well as the hand cannon Rose, you get access to weekly challenges related to the competitive division. So once per week, you'll be able to complete a challenging competitive to get a random rolled version of Rose. Therefore, you're going to have 3 chances per week, 1 on each character, to get yourself a perfect version of Rose. Well, let me know in the comments what you think of all the hand cannons in Destiny 2, and let me know your favourite hand cannon. Would really love to hear from you. Well, that is it for this list of top 10 hand cannons in Destiny 2, and as always, thank you so much for watching or listening. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. Or you can check me out on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the videos on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.